Hello, dear friends, I'm with you. Finally, we have waited for the next update of the Llibrary mod, and today I'm going to tell you what the developers will please us with this time. While I was about to release a review for update 150, the following 151 came out. Therefore, I had to make some additions to the video. True, version 151 does not introduce any new creatures, but only corrects the errors of previous versions. However, these edits are worth mentioning, so I'll tell you about the most interesting changes that are present at the moment. But before I begin the story, I will make a small digression. Despite the fact that every time I leave links in the description, many of you continue to ask the same question: where and how do I download the mod? Therefore, I will show you clearly what needs to be done. We go to the link under the video and see this list of all versions of the mod. Select the sort by update date and make sure that the newest versions are on top. Now you can see when the latest version of the mod came out. On the right, it says for which version of Minecraft this version of the mod is suitable. In our case, this is the Minecraft version 1.12.2, and the mod version is called 151. Download it by clicking this arrow. Antivirusniki like to swear about and without, so we do not pay attention to it and save the file. Similarly, follow the second link and download the auxiliary mod. We remember the names of these files and find them in the folder where you save files when downloading. Copy both files. Then go to the folder with Minecraft. The easiest way to do it is this way. Right-click on the Minecraft icon and select the file location. We are looking for the mods folder and insert our two files there. All you have to do is launch the game. Choose version 1.12.2. Be sure to Forge. How to install Forge on YouTube? There are already many guides. Well, have a nice game. And now back to our wonderful fashion, Ice and Flame. I can say with confidence that the proposed update will not disappoint you at all. I will say more, she exceeded all my expectations. But let's talk about everything in order. The first thing that catches your eye is 3 new creatures. 2 of them are absolutely hostile. The third is hostile, but it can be tamed. Stymphalian birds. These mobs spawn in swamps in packs of 3 to 20 individuals. Anyone who remembers Greek mythology, of course, knows how dangerous these creatures are. Their copper claws, beaks and feathers are extremely hard and sharp. Soaring into the air, the Sardinian birds are able to shower enemies like arrows with their razor-sharp feathers. 4 pens at a time, they are able to throw their feathers not only from top to bottom, but also horizontally. In close combat, they peck enemies with their beaks, so being in close proximity to the Stymphalian bird, be extremely careful if she notices you, and this meeting can end very badly for you. The feathers of Stymphal birds are quite valuable loot. These feathers can be obtained either by picking them up from the ground during a fight with birds, or after killing them. They can be used to make arrows that are not only more powerful than ordinary ones, but also capable of flying indefinitely until they hit some target, unlike ordinary arrows that fly along a ballistic trajectory. However, this only works with vanilla onions so far. From a bone bow, these arrows can also be fired, but they fly like normal ones. Also, they are not affected by the infinity spell. Also, various metals fall out of the killed birds in ingots or pieces. These metals depend on the mods you have installed. If there are no other mods, then only iron will fall out. If you manage to kill at least 1 bird from the flock, the rest will escape. To fight these creatures, you might be better off choosing a weapon capable of striking from afar. Trolls. They live deep underground in forest, mountainous or snow-covered biomes. They usually carry massive weapons with them, with which they crumble their victims right and left. They can destroy, either striking from above or swinging from the side. They are able to grab anything that is suitable for this purpose. For example, a stone table, a log from a tree, or some kind of cleaver. Brandishing their guns, Trolls are able to break blocks that stand in their way. Although the troll's blow is very, very heavy, there is a rollback between attacks, sufficient to have time to carry out his attack. Troll weapons can sometimes be obtained as a trophy after killing a troll. If the weapon does not fall out, then the materials from which it is made may fall out. In addition, there is another way. Emeralds can fall out of mountain trolls with some chance, sapphires can fall out of ice trolls, and mushrooms can fall out of forest trolls. But the most valuable drop is their tusks and skins. You can craft special armor from them. Since the skin of trolls is very thick, they are very resistant to throwing weapons. Accordingly, armor and troll skins have the same properties. A full set of troll armor gives 75% resistance against projectile arrows. Those of you who are going to hunt trolls should seriously prepare for such a campaign. After all, trolls do not take arrows, and they break weak blocks in their path. The best way to fight a troll is to attack hand to hand, bounce, and attack again. Another way is to lure the troll out into the sunlight, and he will immediately turn into stone. However, this method will deprive you of the opportunity to get any bonus. The third mob added by this update to the basilisk is a hybrid of a rooster and a lizard or a snake. In appearance, he does not seem so downright terrible, but do not let his appearance deceive you. This creature can turn out to be a serious opponent for those who have wandered into the savannah, where Vasiliski will be fulfilled just the same. They come in two colors, white and red, with a green tail. Although basilisks are capable of hitting prey with their sharp beaks or claws, their gaze is much more dangerous. If you meet the gaze of a basilisk, your soul will begin to dry up. The basilisk is able to kill its victim with just a glance, even at a distance, and it does it quite quickly. To avoid this, those of you who decide to hunt basilisks may want to get a blindfold. Yes, with the same bandage that we have already seen when we examined the Gorgons. Just in case, I'll remind her of her craft. If the basilisk or its victims are blinded, the basilisk will be forced to resort to weaker melee attacks. I didn't understand how to blind a basilisk. At least I didn't manage to hit him in the eye with an arrow, and I didn't manage to blindfold him either. Perhaps some of you, dear viewers, know how to do this. If so, write in the comments under the video. I will be very interested to know. Basilisks can be a good source of bone dryers, because after death, they drop these very bones. Besides the fact that basilisks spawn in the savannas in nature, there are other ways to see them. Very rarely do ordinary chickens lay such rotten eggs. It will not work to cook scrambled eggs from them, but with a small chance, breaking such eggs, you can get a small basilisk. When he hatches, he will immediately become attached to you and will serve you with the faith of truth all his life. In theory, he should grow into an adult during the game day. A pet basilisk can be made to sit, follow, or patrol by right-clicking on it with an empty hand. You can treat them by feeding them seeds. They are also able to eat rotten flesh from the ground. Tame basilisks will be ready to give their lives to protect their master. Wild, hostile basilisks can also be tamed, although it is much more dangerous. If you constantly look at the basilisk, sooner or later it will break down and become obedient. In order to pull this off, it is best to lock the basilisk somewhere from where it cannot escape, and then look at it. While your soul has not yet had time to dry up, heal quickly and repeat the procedure until victorious. Basilisks always protect the chickens that are near them. If any creature, other than the owner of this basilisk, attack the chicken, then he is in trouble. The natural enemies of basilisks are all sorts of sneaky creatures, such as ferrets and martins, stoats, and the like. The bestiary says that such creatures can kill basilisks in a few bites. However, I didn't manage to see this in practice. Perhaps there was a typo there, meaning that they were able to kill the chickens that the basilisks love so much. By the way, I'll warn all seal lovers right away. Keep your seals as far away from wild basilisks as possible. Basilisks hate cats. However, domestic basilisks do not touch domestic cats. Another feature of basilisks is a similar gorgon look does not work on them. That's actually all that I have managed to find out about the new creatures at the moment. And now I'm going to tell you what other changes have taken place in the fashion of Eisen Phi. Personally, I was very pleased with the bug fix with vanilla horses, which, because of the mod, could not step over blocks, but only jump over them. Now everything is fixed. The vanilla horses are functioning as expected. Those who combine the IceFi mod with Towncraft are waiting for a pleasant surprise. Now there are aspects for all objects and animals, ice and flame mods being added, and even a couple of new aspects related to mythical animals. Next, the developers write that I throw sugar. You will now be able to treat your pixies. But personally, in connection with Pixie, I was more pleased with the fact that the Pixie jar now serves as a light source, which you must agree looks very beautiful. Sirens now really affect the player. There were problems with this feature in earlier versions. Now everything is fixed. Sirens have become more dangerous. Their song attracts you against your will. You are not able to resist their charms, so earplugs are now really useful. The Shining Scales potion is now being crafted in the potion maker, and not in the workbench, as it was before. Without Tiaria, this change is also mentioned. Well, now let's talk about the changes that affect dragons. The dragon and the hippogriff can now set the point of the house. To do this, press Shift and right-click on the dragon or hippogriff, holding a staff or stick in your hand, respectively. Now, in the wandering mode, they should not go far from this point. Wild dragons will not fly far from their nests or caves now either. Tame dragons do not attack mobs at their master. Dragons and death worms have become slower by default. Thanks to this, death worms have become more accurate at hitting their victims, but dragons just look more majestic. Skeletons of ice dragons are now found in ice biomes. Ice stakes can now be crafted from pieces of dragon ice. One of the most interesting changes affected the ice dragons. They have become much more dangerous and can now compete with fire-breathing dragons for the palm in fashion. Their icy breath does not just damage, it really turns the victim into a piece of ice. Look how cool it looks. These are the main changes that have been introduced to this version of the mod. In fact, there are a lot more of them, but they are mainly related to fixing all sorts of small bugs, many of which you probably haven't even noticed. For those who like to dig deeper, I will also say that the mod has some new configurations that you can change at your discretion. That's where I'll probably end. I hope my review was useful to you. Who liked it? I'm waiting for your likes. Write your comments under the video. See you soon, dear friends. Bye-bye.